being able to receive a high pass and seeing over people to get it to other ones that are open.
Armstrong is in trouble low, and he is fouled. So the Hawkeyes trying to keep the ball in the hands of the good free throw shooter.
I was surprised Alaska, last couple times down court, didn't stop and try and take that three-point play. They went in for the two. Armstrong driving baseline gets sealed off. No place to go.
BJ at the line for the 1-and-1. The foul on Gannad.
He looked like he was going for the takedown.
That is 4 now on Hansi Gannad. And Armstrong.
Shooting well at the line.
Perfect from the line. 6 of 6, 89-81 Iowa.
It might be time for chips and salsa right now.
Rana Beglin looking on in his first year as the head coach. Great hopes, high expectations. The Seawolves have never played well in this tournament, only winning 5 games in the history of it.
They've never had the talent that they've got this year, though.
Armstrong goes for the steal off his hand. Wilcox will still have it. 35 seconds left to play. It is Iowa by 8. 89-81.
Still got to play defense. 3 3-point plays. Be 9 points. There's one of them.
Jackson throws it up. Ball is tipped around inside. And they'll still give it to Alaska. 30 seconds left.
And again, that's about 3 times Alaska's thrown it away against pressure. Good free throw shooters coming into the game. Lorenzen and Gamble, Lohaus and Horton out.
You talked about the littler players liking that three-point shot, wanting to shoot it, maybe forcing it a bit. Jackson is a good example. He is 3 of 15 from three-point range. 15 three-point shots. Foul in the backcourt. Tom Davis now brings in the trees for rebounding. Horton comes in along with Lohaus. Lohaus, great ball game this afternoon.
Had a couple passing turnovers, but that will come with more experience and communication with the new system. But it's intimidating when somebody can move as well as Brad. Gets rebounds.
Wilcox fouls out. He leads the game with 12 points.
And another thing, Brad kept himself out of foul problems. Ed Horton got himself in foul problems that first half with 3. And again, this is without Gary Wright or Michael Reeves, 2 starters, at least through the first 3 weeks of practice. You start to think BJ just averaged 2.6 last year. Lohaus was around 3, Horton around 2.5 points.
Armstrong's 6 of 7. Has been very good from the line.
Those people become starters. And on the bench, you had Jones, Moe, and Lorenzen starting the game on the bench. And those 3 last year averaged 26 points between them.
B.J. Armstrong with 15 points. Sophomore from Detroit. Hit 90% of his free throws last year. And he gets the second one to fall. 10-point lead now for Iowa as time winds down. 22 seconds left.
Alaska's not even getting off a shot, let alone a 3-point play.
10 seconds left. Eddie Horton comes down with it. Bill Jones now. And that will be the end of the game. Lohaus is fouled as we end the ball game. 91-81 our final score. The Hawkeyes advance to round 2 of the Great Alaskan Shootout. We'll be back to wrap things up in just a moment.
Way up here, a line shack can save your life when the weather turns the coldest. But the best time to stock it is always the hottest. And before you head back down, you head for the mountains. Bush. Head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream, for a taste as smooth as its name. Bush. Head for Bush beer. Head for the mountains.
Honey, I've been thinking.
Uh-oh.
Let's get an Amana refrigerator.
An Amana? Fine. Then let's fill it with caviar, invite over 60 of our dearest friends, and drink champagne out of our shoes. Amana.
Well, I did a lot of comparing, and Amana isn't really any more expensive than the one you were talking about. Besides, it'll last us for eons.
Okay, you win.
Great. Can we still have the party?
when you know exactly what you want. Amana.
For maximum performance, weatherproof your corn soil insecticide. Use Counter in furrow. Your protection won't be scattered by wind during application. And it's protected from heavy rains, so you put all of your insecticide to work in the soil. And Counter, with its unique Action 3, controls more major corn pests than any other insecticide. For superior control and proven performance, put your money where your crop is. Counter in furrow.
During the holiday season, Target marches to a slightly different drummer. That's why it's tough to beat the low prices on toys at Target. For instance, Barbie and the Rockers, just $6.77 each. And all Lego building sets are now 20% off. So march down to Target and do your Christmas shopping before the parade passes you by.
Well, Tom Davis and the Hawkeyes win the first game of the season, advance to the second round of the Great Alaska Shootout. It was closer than the score indicated, 91-81.
Hawkeyes played sporadically, got some big leads, lost them. Then they came back, ending the game, really taking care of it with Brad Lowhouse and B.J. Armstrong playing very well.
So tomorrow it'll be a 1 o'clock start. Iowa plays the winner of the Texas-North Carolina State game coming up next. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye, everybody. This afternoon's game was brought to you in part by Elanco Products, who bring you Treflan and Sonalan for dependable full-season weed control in soybeans. And by Old Milwaukee Beer and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this.
This has been a special presentation for the Iowa Television Network.
Tully's for Men now has London Fog jackets 1/3 to 1/2 off. Save 50% on Tully's huge selection of sweaters. Purchase any suit at the regular price and receive an Oleg Cassini all-weather coat free at Tully's. This is Boyd Luggage Month at Jones Luggage and Leather. Purchase any 2 Pullmans from the Boyd Luggage series and receive a free tote bag up to a $150 value. This Iowa-made product is now at Jones Luggage and Leather.
Gather around, elves. It's time for your shopping report.
Well, Santa, we looked and looked to find the right gifts at the right prices. We found televisions and stereos and VCRs and...
Oh, elves, not so fast. Where did you find these gifts?
At World Radio! It's the right store. With the right gift. At the right price. I got this Panasonic camcorder for less... And I got this Panasonic...
Slow down, elves. How did you pay for them?
With our World Radio credit card.
World Radio, the right store. We now join our regularly scheduled program, already in progress.
Remarkable engineering in Cadillac history. Engineering designed to enhance your comfort, your control, and your confidence with impeccable manners on the road. And a new, longer warranty, all the while reminding you that Seville represents the ultimate in American luxury sedans. Seville, the elegant spirit of Cadillac.
The Remington microscreen shaves as close as a blade, or your money back. The first screen shaves incredibly close, the second even closer. The Remington microscreen rechargeable shaves without a cord. The Remington microscreen shaves as close as a blade, or your money back.
The United States today put into operation another B-52 bomber capable of carrying cruise missiles. In doing so, it went above the limit set by the unratified SALT II Treaty on strategic nuclear weapons. The B-52, fitted to carry 12 cruise missiles, landed this afternoon at Carswell Air Force Base in Texas after being modified for the missiles. When the United States announced last May that it planned to exceed the SALT II limit, it cited what it called the threat posed by Soviet nuclear forces. In India, Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev today called the U.S. breach of SALT II a major mistake. He spoke at a news conference with Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. Gorbachev said the U.S. action showed contempt for the treaty and would make disarmament more difficult. Later, Gorbachev and his wife ended their 4-day visit to India and flew back to Moscow. John Walker, who headed a family espionage ring and was regarded by the Soviet Union as one of its most valuable spies, is serving a life prison term. But even from behind bars, it turns out, Walker may have been plotting, making elaborate plans to escape. This claim was made by Ralph Saw, who was his cellmate while Walker was awaiting sentencing. NBC News law correspondent Carl Stern interviewed Saw in prison.
While John Walker was housed at a Maryland jail, he mapped out detailed escape plans, according to his cellmate for 3 months, who turned over evidence to the FBI.
Well, he spent at least a month planning. He had Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C.
This is Walker's own diagram showing that Plan A centered on a McDonald's restaurant where marshals stopped each week, returning Walker from questioning in Baltimore. The cellmate, Ralph Saw, says Walker offered to pay friends of Saw $100,000 to intercept the car, accurately described by Walker right down to the license plate number. Another plan involved having Saw's friends place a gun in the car.
Once he got the gun in his hand, he would shoot the passenger in the back of the head. He indicated that he would assassinate the other marshal as well.
You think he was serious?
Very serious. Very serious.
Saw, who is in prison on gun and drug charges, says Walker claimed to have $1 million buried in plastic pipe which couldn't be detected. He also said Walker was a prison celebrity, signing autographs and running an impromptu clinic for criminals.
He would instruct them on how to burglarize a house professionally. He would give them tips. And he would say, "You idiot, well, you know, this is what you should have done, you know."
Norfolk, Virginia, October 3rd, 1980. Candidate Ronald Reagan visited the city, and Walker boasted to Saw that he was one of Reagan's private security force.
He was hired, I guess, through intelligence sources to stand guard or be around Reagan, and he said he actually shook hands with Reagan.
Saw turned over notes he kept in the hope of getting an early parole. He says Walker did not identify any news spies and showed neither shame nor sorrow.
He'd mentioned that spying kept nations from going to actual war. And he felt he was balancing the power.
Walker's lawyer says lie detector tests on whether Walker has $1 million buried somewhere were inconclusive. The Secret Service believes Walker may very well have been in the Norfolk security force protecting Ronald Reagan. Carl Stern, NBC News, Washington.
The State Department plans to give tests for AIDS to all Foreign Service officers, 10,000 of them, and their dependents over 18. Those with AIDS antibodies will be restricted from serving overseas. The test will also be given to all Foreign Service applicants, and those with positive tests will be rejected.
Spray on the flavor, Hottopper. Rush on the flavor, Hottopper. Stream on the flavor, Hottopper. From Presto.
Presto Hottopper Melter Dispenser melts butter, warms sauces and syrups in minutes, unplug and uses a cordless appliance. A spray of butter, a touch of flavor, a nice warm smile. Stores in the refrigerator. Cleanup is easy too.
Spray on the, rush on the, stream on the flavor, Hottopper.
Hot stuff. From Presto.
Introducing Medipren, when your body hasn't got time for the pain.
I haven't got time for the pain. I haven't got room for the pain. No, I haven't got time for the pain anymore.
Medipren with ibuprofen, once only in prescription strength, relieves body pain, even minor arthritis pain fast, and it's gentler to your stomach than aspirin.
I haven't got time for the pain.
When your body hasn't got time for the pain, new Medipren from the makers of Tylenol products.
I can't believe you don't know this stuff. You read the articles.
I read them.
Lay off the saturated fats, watch the cholesterol, and you know what too much salt can do.
What?
It's heavy stuff. And you still eat like that.
Fleischmann's Light, 25% less fat and salt than margarine, and no cholesterol.
Hey, I want you to care about this.
Okay, Dad.
With Thanksgiving over, 'tis the season for Christmas shopping. The Friday after Turkey Day is usually the busiest shopping day of the year. And when the stores close tonight, Christmas will be just 27 days away. NBC's Irving R. Levine reports tonight that some shoppers made sure they got an early start.
They were lined up for the opening bell, waiting for the doors to open at Macy's for the day after Thanksgiving sales. Retailers count on the holiday season for up to 50% of their full year's profit. The next 4 weeks are crucial.
We'll probably spend more money this year because the price of the clothing and the things we would normally buy for Christmas seems to have gone up.
I know we'll spend less. We're kind of conservative.
How freely people spend depends on where they live. In Boston, with unemployment roughly half the national average, there's nothing bearish about the outlook.
We expect that December is going to be really the best Christmas we've had in a long time.
A different story in Houston, where the economy is depressed.
The oil industry, the economy, the people out of work, and so many people have moved out of Houston, we all feel it. And we'd be delighted to break even this Christmas.
At upper scale stores, a special consideration this Christmas, the tax deduction on sales taxes ends December 31st.
People know that they're going to lose the sales tax deduction this year, and our expectations are that they're going to be making major purchases in the precious jewelry fur area to take advantage of it.
When they talk about major purchases at Neiman Marcus, they include a bubble boat at $80,000 and his and her cats, a new breed, at $1,400 each. On a more proletarian level, from the AFL-CIO, a first-time holiday catalog featuring overalls at $10.95 and car seat covers at $27.95. At shopping malls, Santa was taking orders.
Laura, what would you like for Christmas?
A choo-choo train.
A choo-choo train.
But the big seller in toys this season, laser gun games. Games which brought out protesters in San Diego handing out leaflets demanding an end to warlike toys. In previous years, merchants have been stuck with leftover goods. This year, they say they ordered more cautiously, and there won't be as many big sales just before and after Christmas. Irving R. Levine, NBC News, Washington.
A federal study shows that more Americans than ever are trying to quit smoking cigarettes, but women are less likely to quit than men. According to the researchers, statistics show that women find it harder to quit than men do. 5 men who haven't quit smoking may be wishing they had. On a flight from New York to Boston, they refused to put out their cigarettes, even after the pilot reminded them they were in a no-smoking section. They were arrested when the plane landed and faced criminal charges.
You get a charge out of your Norelco, don't you?
Yep, it gives me the fastest, longest-lasting charge of any leading razor.
Wow, a shave this close without a cord.
Which means I can shave anywhere.
How about Hawaii?
Norelco, we put quality first.
Protect your family if fire strikes. Look for the First Alert Fire Safety Center at your local retailer. For the full line of First Alert smoke detectors and fire extinguishers. And ask about the First Alert Smoke Detector $3 trade-in offer. Blackout. Both families have rechargeable lights, but only one has Ready Light. With a powerful Krypton bulb, it shines the light where you need it. And Ready Light lasts longer. Ready Light from First Alert.
This is dedicated to the ones we love.
You know what your problem is, Eric?
Alice?
You're 43 years old, and you still eat cold pizza and donuts for breakfast.
So that's it.
All that sugar, all those preservatives.
Hold it. Should I try Nutri-Grain?
Delicious Nutri-Grain. Only the whole grain with no preservatives and no sugar added.
Goodbye.
Oh, wait. Does this mean you love me?
Yes.
Kellogg's Nutri-Grain cereal.
Dedicated to the ones we love.
Dad, this Christmas, don't hint. Just come right out and tell your family if they give you a Lazy Boy recliner, they'll never, ever have to buy you another tie as long as you live. My wife gave me this one.
On the island of Hawaii today, lava from the Kilauea volcano poured into the sea. It's the first time that's happened since 1969. NBC's Charles Gomez reports tonight that many islanders see it as a good omen.
The volcano continued spewing lava today. Molten rock 2,000 degrees hot gathered in pools at the volcano's base. Kilauea became active again 3 years ago. This latest eruption started in July. Lava is now seeping from a crack and pushing out toward the sea. Some of the streams have burst to the surface, covering the eastern part of the island like a smoking black blanket, smothering cars and homes. 9 homes have been destroyed so far. 17 others are threatened.
It's not over yet. This eruption is continuing to pump out magma and generate lava at the source.
At least 100 people have been evacuated. Residents were stranded when lava inched across the coastal Kalapana highway.
We stayed there, but this one just is very devastating.
This family made it to a shelter just before the lava reached their home.
We lost our home, but we still have to find a place to stay.
Firefighters poured water on the advancing lava to cool it and harden the surface to help divert the flow away from homes. And there were other concerns.
Methane gas, which is produced as the lava flow advances, which ignites and explodes.
By mid-morning, the lava began pouring into the ocean. And for many Hawaiians, that was a good sign. They believe in the legend of Pele, a mythical goddess who rules the volcano. And when the lava enters the sea, they say it means her anger is over and the volcano will become silent once more. Charles Gomez, NBC News, Kalapana, Hawaii.
Before heading into Australia's outback tomorrow, Pope John Paul today visited a parish school in Melbourne. And as NBC's Stan Bernard reports, he showed a side of himself that few people have seen.
In a 4th grade classroom, the Pope took questions that many would like to ask, but only children do. About the attempt to assassinate him in 1981.
Could you please just point to where you were wounded?
It was here, I suppose. It was here.
Father, how many countries have you been to?
There are several different countries, but I don't know exactly the number.
There were serious questions.
Your Holiness, how did you feel when Germany and Russia moved into Poland?
Oh, that was a tragic moment. That was a great injustice for my people and for ourselves.
But his engaging qualities emerged as he was asked questions about John Paul, the person.
What's your favorite music?
Maybe I like more the classical music, but also the modern. What is the name? Rock.
When you live in the Vatican, Your Holiness, how do you know which room is which?
But I don't know.
John Paul said they are what is important, not the Vatican rooms. It ended with a gift for each child, a rosary. This papal pilgrimage to the Pacific will be remembered for many reasons, including the 30,000 miles traveled by the time it is over. But it will be special because of the children at St. Leo's. Stan Bernard, NBC News, Melbourne.
Philippine President Corazon Aquino fired 2 more members of her cabinet today under pressure from the military. This may have been part of the deal in which the military gained concessions from Aquino in return for not opposing her firing last Sunday of Defense Minister Juan Ponce Enrile. Today, Enrile promised to support Aquino and was given an award for service to his country.
Whirlpool announces the end of the noisy dishwasher. The Whirlpool Quiet Wash dishwasher is powerful enough to get all your dishes really clean, but quiet enough to make your world a little easier.
Whirlpool. I'm not an actor. I'm just a guy, 30 years old, who had a heart attack. I'm okay now, but I want to tell you one thing I learned from my doctor. Medical studies prove that a diet low in fats and cholesterol with foods like Fleischmann's margarine can actually help reduce the level of cholesterol already in your body. And that's one way you can help reduce your risk of heart disease. I thought you'd like to know that. Take care.
Fleischmann's margarine. Ask your doctor.
On Meet the Press, the deepening Iranian arms crisis. A view from the Senate with Senators Lugar and Moynihan, and from the Carter administration with former Vice President Walter Mondale, Sunday.
Take me back where I belong. Take me where it's safe and warm.
The Goodyear Vector is the all-season radial that pumps water away to keep more tire tread on the road. And for some, that's a comforting thought.
Take me home, Goodyear, take me home. Never matters how far I go, Goodyear, take me home.
A woman in my position can't worry about dentures coming loose.
Fix-It and forget it. Fix-It helps fix loose spots for a strong hold that lasts longer than any leading cream.
Let's do it again.
Use Fix-It and forget it.
Napoleon McCallum is a Navy man, but he's also a living ad for the recruiting slogan of the Army, be all that you can be. He's working 2 jobs. But NBC's Robert Lipsyte reports McCallum wishes he could do even more.
Napoleon McCallum is an officer and a running back. The 23-year-old naval ensign moonlights with the Los Angeles Raiders.
I've always worked hard. You know, when I was a kid on my dad's farm, he had cows, a farm, and he made me work a lot there.
He still keeps farmers' hours. His full-time job is assistant food services officer aboard a ship in dry dock.
How'd you like your meal?
His workday begins at 5 a.m. McCallum says that football helps him communicate with his men.
They ask me about the game. They tell me about who their favorite team is. And then you go into, you know, what their needs are so that they can perform better.
An All-American at the Naval Academy, McCallum was given an unprecedented 5th playing year after he lost a season to injury. He was then drafted by the Raiders despite his 5-year Navy commitment. He was paid a reported $700,000 signing bonus.
Napoleon McCallum's double life has gotten mixed notices. Some people cheer the Navy's compassion and flexibility. Others say, sarcastically, join the Navy and see the NFL.
They say that I'm not giving anything back to the Navy. They say that I'm wasting their money. I want to play football. I want to be in the Navy. I want to be a naval officer. I can't slack off. I've got to always be pushing myself to be the best I can.
He works hard, and a lot of people...
Napoleon and Karen have been married for 5 months.
And it makes me feel bad when I say, well, Napoleon, can we do something? And I know he's dead on his feet, so...
I wish I could do a lot better. But I'm happy to be there playing. You know, I don't think that's the Napoleon McCallum that I want to be out there.
Nevertheless, the McCallum that's out there is having a fine season. He's the second best rusher on the Raiders.
Touchdown, Raiders!
Hours after the ball game is over, the rookie is an ensign again, the same man in a different uniform moving toward yet another goal. Robert Lipsyte, NBC News, Los Angeles.
And that's our news. Tom Brokaw will be back Monday night. I'm Connie Chung in New York. I'll see you again tomorrow night here on NBC Nightly News. Thank you for joining us, and for all of us at NBC News, good night.
Tonight on Miami Vice, Phil Collins is dressed to kill.
Regular litany of evil tonight.
But a con game gets him in over his head.
He's gonna kill the little twerp.
Then Michael J. Fox, Diane Sawyer, and Terry Garr in their own movies.
Smells like prime time in here, doesn't it?
David Letterman's second annual Holiday Film Festival after Miami Vice.
Come home tonight.
Tonight from News Center 13.
Central Iowa's poor continue the fight to keep their furnaces running and their lights lit.
Des Moines merchants hope to cash in on Christmas with things like Santa suspenders. I'm Jim Strickland. I'll have a live report.
And heating your home and running your stove will be a little more expensive starting next month.
These stories, Jim's forecast, and Jeff with sports next from News Center 13.
100 years ago, our Yellow Pages started helping business in the West.
I think this ad should work just fine.
And though it was about the only way to advertise in Cheyenne, we worked to be the best.
Thanks, Will.
At US West Direct, we still believe in that tradition. We publish the West's best Yellow Pages to help nearly 1 million businesses every year.
I think you'll be pleased with what we've done.
Thanks, Judy.